Hey guys, so for today's video I thought I would do my coming out story, and I know that there's a lot on YouTube and probably everybody's sick of it, but I find it's usually a good way for us to kind of express that story, because a lot of us haven't actually told a lot of people, and it is a very meaningful part of our life. So if we haven't told anyone, it's kind of weird. Sorry, all that noise in the background is the cat going psycho. Anyway, so when I was in high school, I was probably like every other gay person, really badly teased. Just the usual name calling, like a few hits and stuff as well, which was pretty bad. But unlike a few people that their coming out stories involved them where not a lot of people knew they were gay because they just assumed they were straight. With me in school, it was obvious to tell. My voice, for starters, I was always... Actually, that was the main reason why I was teased in high school, is because of my high voice. It actually never broke. I don't know why. I don't actually have an Adam's apple either. So, I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, I remember my orientation day, which is your first day of high school where you get shown around. It's not actually a day of school, it's just being shown around. I think when you're in year 7 in Australia, towards the end of the last year in primary school, you get shown around the high school. And I remember a couple of boys from a different school. Sorry, I'll just explain that first. My primary school was next door to a high school, and that high school was the only one within like a certain radius, so there were lots of other primary schools around. So I think about 5 primary schools ended up going to this one high school. So there were all these new kids, so nobody knew each other. And I remember standing out the front of a gym, and this young guy, well, not young because he was the same age as me, this guy coming up to me and said, "What's your name?" And I said, "Adrian." And that's where it all started. Like, as stupid as it sounds, I was teased for about 4 years in high school because of the way that I said my name and my high voice. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So everybody pretty much knew that I was gay from the get-go. Even in primary school, I think my parents already knew. Everybody knew because I played with my older sister's toys, with all of her dolls and Barbies and everything, but I also played with a lot of my stuff, like cars. I love to play with everything. And one thing I also used to do when I was younger is dress up, and it was usually as a woman. I don't know why, I've just always found them much more interesting. They can do much more with their hair, with their face, with their clothes. I find that men is really limiting. It's either black or brown. I'm getting off track again. Okay, so to my coming out story, went through primary school and high school and all that. I think it came when I was 17, and I actually got a boyfriend when I was 17, and he wasn't in high school, he was actually out of high school, and I met him out the front of a club. I know, naughty me, going to clubs at 17 because you're meant to be 18. But yeah, I met him at a club, and we ended up going out for a long time when I was finishing high school, I think. And so he was the reason that I decided to come out, because I was sick of hiding. I really liked this guy. So what I did was I wrote a letter to my mum and dad when they weren't home. They were both at work that day, and I think my sister was at work as well because she's older. And I basically wrote in there saying, I can't remember what I wrote. I remember writing though that I was bisexual, not gay, and I know that a lot of gay guys come out that way saying that they're bisexual first, just to see like how they take that, because they're kind of like, their parents can go, "Oh well, they can still get married, they can still have a girlfriend if they're bi." So I did that, like most of us, and I just said this stuff like, "I hope you're not disappointed, please don't think that you've done anything wrong. blah 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 blah, and I left that note on their pillow, and I ran out the front door, and my best friend picked me up and took me to her house. So it was basically just waiting there. I took a bag with me. I was so over dramatic, thinking that I would have to live with her for the rest of my life because my family would want nothing to do with me. To cut a long story short, my whole family, my mum and dad and my sister, ended up pulling into the driveway, and I remember being at my best friend's window that faced out to the front of the driveway, and sweat pouring down, thinking, oh my god, this is it, they're going to kill me, they're going to kill me. I remember seeing my dad get out of the car and thinking he looked angry, and I wanted to dive under her bed. I was so scared. And then the next thing I just remember the knocking at the door, and my heart went so they came in, and I was sitting, my best friend let them in, and I was sitting on her bed going, and I remember my sister walked around the corner first crying, but I could immediately tell that it was like when somebody cries when they're happy and proud for you. And then my mum and dad came around, and they were like, what are you doing? We've always known it's fine, we don't judge you, we still love you no matter what. Sorry, burping. No matter what, you're our Adrian and you always will be. So they all gave me hugs, and yeah, I had absolutely nothing to worry about. And I know that a lot of other people's coming out stories are actually really, really horrible, and their parents don't react in the same way, and they get kicked out of home and all that. And for people watching this, I just want to tell you that there are always people out there, if you're in a circumstance like that, that can help you, and no matter what, your parents will always love you, and it may take some time for them to come around, but there's always someone to talk to, even the hotlines you can talk to. If your friends as well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't throw you out on the road. I'm pretty sure you'd have at least one friend that would be there for you. But yeah, the main point is never feel like you're alone. You've always got someone to talk to, and things do get better. Yeah, I don't think I've left anything out. Yeah, so mine was pretty easy. Apart from my high school days, they were just absolutely horrible, and that actually used to make me feel like there was something wrong with me and that I wasn't right. And it was actually my friends that got me through that. I remember I was even petrified to tell my best friend, who I'd been friends with since I was 5, and she was actually the last person to know out of our group of friends, which I felt really, really bad for, and still to this day I feel really bad, because she was the one person who I knew 100% how she would react, but I was afraid to lose her because she was the thing that meant the most to me. So, but when I told her, she was amazing, and she's been amazing up until this day, and things are so much better now, and I'm actually glad that I'm not straight, because it's more fun being gay. Yeah, so that's my story. If you guys have any questions, you can comment below, and I'll talk to you later. See ya!